Good day, fellow geeks! On this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth, we're going to be talking about some Overwatch, some Legion Alpha information, and Star Wars? All that and more on this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth. By geeks.
About geeks. For geeks.
Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth!
Hello, welcome to the show. My name's Tarley, and with me, we've got the usual suspects. We've got Big Voodoo, and we've got Britzza. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going well.
I'm cold and I'm hungry.
Isn't that the typical Brits in this time of year?
That's the typical me this time of year. It's very cold. No,
It's very cold and there's not enough food at the orphanage.
That's it. Oliver Twist is a documentary, believe it or not. We're all in rags. How are you doing, Sally?
I'm pretty cold as well. Not hungry, but quite cold. We're getting the same bitter chill up here in the mountains.
To be honest, I have been living off a lot of chocolate, and to be honest, I think, have you guys got like advent calendars and things like that?
Yeah, we have that here. I don't personally have one in my possession, but I know that.
Right. Because I've got one. People bought me one for work. People bought me one for home, and now it's wherever I go on a daily basis. I have to consume my body weight in chocolate for tradition. So. Yeah, I can see myself putting on a little bit of weight.
You know, that seems to be a really interesting holiday tradition. I might have to try that. What? How's everyone's week in gaming? What have you been playing? Blizzard games? Anyone?
A lot of
Voodoo.
games.
Voodoo, why don't you tell us about your week?
So the usual StarCraft here and there. Been playing a little bit of Hearthstone still. Got up to like rank 16, I think, after the reset for this month. And then I actually started playing WoW again.
I wonder who convinced you to do that.
Some jerkhead.
What about you, Britzza? How's your week? Or I guess it's been 2 weeks since we did a show.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't feel like I've done a lot because I'm getting ready to move again, so that's taken up a lot of time. But in Heroes, I got past level 30, so I got into rank play, which is interesting. I don't know why, it feels... I guess it's like coming out of LFR, isn't it? And going into trading. It's a lot more civilized and,
intelligent.
Calling it civilized, I wouldn't quite, at least on the American servers.
Well, that's it. It's not, you still, lose, you can have some pretty diabolical losses on there and you've still got to communicate, but like no one's just generally, it's just not pure insulting. That's the thing. When you don't get to that stage, you just got to fight through a lot of troll.
Unless you're playing Cho'Gall with Big Voodoo, and then they just insult both of you because you're doing better than them.
Cho'Gall is actually really overpowered, I think, in some respects. Especially, I play Jaina a lot of the time, and Cho'Gall turns up, and that's it. Unless I'm running to be alive, then I'm screwed. So. But other than that, I also got my Warlock to 100. So that's number 4, ready for Legion. So that's another one doing nothing, sitting in its garrison, waiting for June to tick on. But I think I'll probably do Death Knight, and then I'm going to call it quits on
nice
hundreds.
I am slowly making progress. I am now up to my 7th level 100, which was also my Warlock. Yeah.
Bomb my achievement there.
Well, I just plan to get every artifact weapon, so I have to prepare, and it's either I level all my characters or buy all the characters, and, well, who's got the money for that, right?
Pay to win.
Right.
We must have now, because I think months and months ago, we said between us, do we all have enough, like a level 100 in every class?
I think
we must have one.
Including Zool. If Zool were here, then absolutely we would. Other than that, I've been playing a ton of WoW lately. I got my DK PvP geared in about 2 days. I guess it's ridiculously easy now. So, just been playing
PvP.
It's as it's always been. I haven't been arenaing because, just enjoying BGs. It's fun. Been playing a lot of StarCraft, and WoW is my way to get away from StarCraft because StarCraft is frustrating.
Just
I
win
need
more.
to get through it.
All right, well, how about we talk about some news? It's time to jump into the first segment of the show. It's time for News of the Week. As soon as I get the sounder, there it is.
Hey, we recording? Yeah? Okay.
News of the Week. That's right, it's time for News of the Week, and I swear one of these weeks I will actually have the sounder ready to go when it's time to jump into the next segment of the show. But for now, we are late again. And first off, we're going to talk about some Overwatch. The Overwatch beta has recently gone down, to my extreme sadness. Overwatch has gone down and will be down to sometime between mid to late January, even February possibly. But this is for good reasons. They're going to be implementing a lot of changes to the game. They had a few interviews here that Britzza here you put in our notes with Eurogamer.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go over what that said a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the main stuff was an interview they had with Jeff Kaplan. I don't know if I pronounced that right. This thing I can't ever get names right, but they managed to sit down with him and talk a little bit about how the beta had gone, and I guess the big topics that came out were when we're going to see the beta come back, and also the sort of progression systems that are sort of going to come out of Overwatch, because they're still figuring out that model. So without repeating the full interview, because I'll stick the interview in the notes for anyone who wants to follow it up, but the main thing is that they're not going to be increasing capacity for the next beta. They're going to keep it relatively small and tight. They think they've done well in terms of stability.
I can see Big Voodoo grinding his teeth over his webcam.
I'm not in it either, so yeah. But I guess, their justification, I think Eurogamer said this actually, was that Jeff talks about how the next beta's looking at around sort of mid to late Jan, but he said if they've got some new features that they're working on around that time, they might push it to February. So by then anyways, it's due for spring launch. So you're looking
late
at
March or early April for launch anyway. So
it'll be less of a beta and more of like almost kind of pre-release style game, hopefully by that point.
So I think the big thing that came out of these interviews and conversations with Jeff Kaplan was that they officially announced that all DLC going forward, not partially to some confusion, but all DLC, maps and heroes will be free for Overwatch. I think that's huge, and I think that's a really great model to continue moving forward with the game, especially because it's a full priced game, and with heroes being the key part of balancing that game, having them free makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, the game would be completely unbalanced if some people could have the hero while others could not, because they couldn't afford it. Would you guys agree? You think that the pay model makes sense?
I think
Voodoo, you look like you have something to say.
So, the one thing they brought up is, like, the longevity of the game. How do you continue to support it if you don't continue to make money off of it? And that would be my only concern with that. But I do think, since they've already planned skins, I think that's probably going to be their way out of that. Or at least that would be my guess.
I feel like it will, same. I feel like it will follow the Team Fortress model where you can buy hats, but I think they'll do a little bit more creative than just hats. But yeah, what do you guys think? Just another question, a little bit off from the pay model. I know you both play shooters in the past. What do you think a good style ranking system or progression system would work for Overwatch? Do you think they could put cosmetic rewards also behind your rank, or behind how far you've progressed with certain heroes? Or should cosmetic rewards be strictly part of the paid aspect of the game? You think there should be bronze, silver, gold like StarCraft? What do you think? I want to hear some ideas.
I've always been of the view, if you take the simple equation, time is money, and apply it, I think that's a good basis for saying, well, if you're going to play the game a lot, you should be able to unlock things. So that's how Heroes works. It's time is money. If you don't have the time, you can pay the money, but otherwise you can put in the time. Either way, they're getting something out of you. And I guess, there's nothing wrong with having cosmetics unlocked through lots and lots of play, but I guess in a way you kind of have to look to what Heroes has done. Like Heroes, unless I'm mistaken, because I never got this far before they changed it. But when you had your hero rank 10 skin, once you got to rank 10, did you just unlock the skin, or did you have to do anything with it?
You
now
still have to
spend
pay gold.
Oh, you still had to pay gold. Okay, I thought you didn't. So I don't know.
I didn't know.
Guess
I thought you just got it.
That's it. I thought you just got it. But maybe that's a sign of where they're going to keep it going. Saying that, I think in a really weird way, the way Halo 5 has done it isn't too far off how I think you should be able to do it. I think you could break down cosmetics into different armor gear sets and things, or different cosmetic things, and just unlock XP and get packs and things. That could be a good way to do it, maybe. But saying that, everyone hates Halo 5's system.
I think I mostly agree. I think the time is money idea would work really well as far as cosmetic rewards, and then as far as a ranking system, I think that should be completely separate from progression. I think you should be able to do progression whether you're playing ranked or not, like working on characters or working on achievements, whatever they put as progression, and then ranked be something completely separate playlist that you have to queue into that doesn't even affect your character progression at all. That's a totally separate thing. However they do that, though, whether it's ladder points or just bronze, silver, gold type ranking, or Heroes of the Storm working your way down, or the way Hearthstone works as well. Be interesting to see how they implement that. Anything else on Overwatch before we move on, gentlemen?
I guess they're going to one thing, it's kind of not Overwatch, but it's connected to what we've just said, was that they obviously removed the talent gating for heroes. So I think that's a sign that they're really key to make sure that these games are as open as possible, and that there's not sort of loads and loads of barriers that people have to be really good at games and have to play lots to get content, or at least be able to play the way they want. So I think they'll probably just try and keep it as transparent as possible with Overwatch. So, but saying that, they're still figuring a lot of it out, they said. And then Jeff in the interview says the reason a lot of these announcements weren't made was because they're still working on it. They still haven't figured out all the whole how it's going to look. So you don't know, but still, I think they're doing the right thing. I don't think any of us are saying that they're going about it the wrong way.
Any last words on Overwatch, Voodoo?
Blizzard, give me
What's the
beta.
I guess all I can say is during this break, please nerf Bastion. Please.
Really?
Yes.
What, OP or?
Just, there's just too many hiding spots that Bastion can sit and be pretty much untouchable while being able to kill the entire other opposing team. I'm not sure what the fix to that is. I'm not a game designer by any means, but there's got to be a fix, Jeff Kaplan.
Delete
Fix it.
Bastion.
Yes, Control F4. Alt F4. I don't know what Control F4 does. It's fine.
Let's find out.
And we're off the air. All right, moving on. Next topic. Back, since this is a World of Warcraft show, we should talk about Legion Alpha. A lot more has been released since we have talked, and one of the big things is Stormheim and High Mountain are both open for exploration. You can fully do every single quest that exists in those zones. You can level up to 105, I believe, right now. And the word from the bird is that it is amazing. People in the community are saying it is some of the best storylines that World of Warcraft has ever had to offer, even following Warlords of Draenor's amazing questing. How does this make you guys feel?
I've seen a couple of the streams, and a warning to anyone who hasn't, they are spoiler heavy.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy. The whole, without giving away, Deathwing has an impact in High Mountain.
What?
Yes, I can't say more than that without spoiling it, but Deathwing's kind of there. Not there, but kind of. I can't say more than that, but if you watch these streams, you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. But
Britzza just blew my mind, everyone. Deathwing is back. Cataclysm 2.
I'm saying
Britzza confirms.
Confirms. Deathwing's back.
With Bolvar riding on his back.
Yeah, that's it. Bolvar's back, so Deathwing's got to come back. But I've absolutely loved it. I think the questing is so epic. I mean, how you kind of run into Deathwing, I use inverted commas, without trying to spoil anything. The way you run in is totally epic, and it's the background stories behind how these places got their names, about the races that have lived here. You just see so much, and you feel like even though you're this superhero, the leader of your class, you feel like you are joining one of the biggest wars and battles that we've ever seen. And also it's split into different mini, huge conflicts going on between, the elements and, the dragons and all sorts like that. And characters are popping up left, right, and centre. Main characters, you'll do a quest and up pops this famous character, and you just go off, and it's brilliant. Everything I thought they were going to do, they've done it brilliantly in terms of immersing people and making it feel like this is the expansion you want to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, just from what I've seen and what I've heard, every zone truly this time has a unique storyline, which definitely is great because how they've talked about, you can level in any zone, any order you want to. I think that's fantastic. That each zone has a solid storyline, so you won't be confused if you're going in a different order than someone else from zone to zone. Voodoo, what do you think? Have you looked into any of the quests?
So I haven't done a whole lot of looking on it, half because I don't want to spoil it for myself,
Right.
and half because I've been consumed by Nation Wars.
Yeah.
But I guess my concern isn't necessarily the storytelling in the zones, because they did a wonderful job with that in Warlords. And if they can, build on that, it's going to be even better. My concern is longevity after you level that first character. Like, are you still going to have an epic experience? Or is it like Warlords, where the first time it was amazing to play through and level up, and then the second time you're like, okay, I've done all of this already?
That would be interesting, because I think that's kind of something that you kind of go through every WoW expansion, where yes, it's cool, fun to level the first time, but once you get to your second, third character, it gets pretty stale. I wonder if they could
bored out of my mind for this warlock. I mean, thank God for heirloom gear, because I didn't have to do anything other than the bonus missions, just run around doing bonus missions. But my God, you're right, Voodoo. It's replayability of these quest lines has always been really limited. And I guess this is where they've tried to bring in that sort of, you don't have to go from zone A to B, then to C, then to D. You can now go A to E to B, and just go around. So I guess what they're trying to say is, first character do this route, next character go see all the zones you didn't see, and then, just mix it up a little bit. But you're right. I think that's going to be a real problem. But I guess that depends how many ults people tend to level.
Yeah. I think one thing this leveling system will change is, I guess how I've always leveled at the release of an expansion is, instead of completing a zone storyline, as soon as I hit, the next level and it says you can go to this next zone at that level, that's what I would do to get the most experience out of the quests I was doing. With everything scaling to your level, that won't be a thing anymore, so you won't really have a reason to jump around. You'll want to actually just complete the storylines and level up. So depending on, later on, if you're using heirlooms when they unlock those to level 110, stuff like that, it could change the pacing in which, I don't even have to do this zone because I'll just level all the way through this one with the heirlooms, and so that alone could change it.
I guess as well, you've got to do all the storylines because you won't get Pathfinder.
Exactly, and you're going to need to be able to fly, so assuming it's the same.
What's the point in playing WoW if you can't fly?
That's why I haven't played at all this expansion, because I can't fly.
That is really, actually, for the first time ever, I actually had someone come down. I was getting one of the quest items. I think I was in, I can't remember where I was actually, which zone I was in, but I'd basically taken 2 minutes to get to the quest item, clicked it, and some player just flew down, grabbed it, jumped off again, and I just looked at them and I just thought, yeah,
we're in Miss Pandaria again.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I need to get flying. So that's my Christmas project.
Get flying. So a few other things to talk about in the Legion Alpha. Some things have been unveiled, of course. People are just digging around, and they have uncovered Legion invasion events all over Azeroth, not just on the Broken Isles, but literally every zone on the classic Azeroth map has invasions happening all over the place, which This is awesome, and it's not going to just be only level 110 players will be able to see it. Level 1 players will be able to see it. They're killing quest givers, which is I don't know how that's going to affect people leveling up their zone, but demons killing quest givers and setting things on fire, and it looks quite incredible. Really, have you? What do you make of this, Big Voodoo? I'm handing you the mic.
Mic drop. No. I kind of like it. If they're scaling these monsters kind of like how they've scaled the new zones, then it could work out well. And if you have a fresh supply of mobs to kill at all times, quest givers being dead, not a big deal. A bit more grindy, but not a big deal.
And here I can pull up on the screen just a map of wetlands. This here you can see what the maps look like now. You can see these points with skulls will be where higher level demons have landed. You can see these orange little crystal things. Those are apparently, I can't remember what they're called, but they're these massive demon ship things with a lot of demons and green
Bunnies.
fire. And bunnies? Is that what you said?
Rabbits, yes.
What do you think, Britzza?
I think of something that's springing to mind. Have they ever said when they're going to implement the this whole level scaling technology they're bringing in so that we can move between zones? When's that coming in? Because you just said, Big Voodoo, if people can sort of, if whatever level, get engaged with the Legion invasion event, especially if it's killing their NPCs, then that'd be a great time to sort of play test it and get it into the game. So I don't know if that's going to be here before.
Well, have they said that they were? I don't. As my impression is that they're only doing this with Legion zones, and
It
not
might be just Legion
previous
zones. Then.
zones. If
Don't
they did it with
quote
previous
me on
zones, that'd be awesome. But
So I think the level scaling is just with Legion zones, but I mean like the
Right.
actual invasion event itself. I could
yeah.
see that scaling.
I think, I think it's great. Again, I'm looking back on the old Wrath invasion events, and I'm thinking, well, you know, what sort of special gear can we get out of this? Because I've still got my warrior's still got the sort of corrupted judgment looking gear that you could get there, those 4 pieces, and I absolutely love them. So I'd love to see if you can get some really cool gear that you can transmog out of these. But otherwise, I think it's just funny to see the sort of the alpha names they've got. Like half of these pictures have got needs tuning and all sorts of things. So I think what's this one here? Subjugator Volanus needs tuning, needs abilities. So there's still a lot of work that needs to go into this, but it looks fun. It looks like this is gonna, get people excited, get people ready to take the fight to the Broken Isles. I'm happy.
you kind of went robot on us the last little bit of what you said there, Britzza. But I think I got the gist of it.
I'm happy. Anyway, sorry guys, I might have missed you on that one. Is there anything else on the invasion event that you guys are excited about?
I just think it's actually, with Warlords pre-event being so, meh, yeah. I think this is going to be very cool. Just demons everywhere. I think it's really going to set in the tone for what to expect for this expansion. So I think it's cool. Other things being announced in the alpha are not really announced, but just being previewed. A lot of the dungeons you can take a look at now, and one of the coolest ones that we've been able to see is Halls of Valor. And we'll just pull up the first little bit of Fat Bosses. I'm sure you've all heard of Fat Boss by now on YouTube. We'll pull up a video of them talking about Halls of Valor. Not too much, don't want to give spoilers, but here we go.
Hello and welcome back to Fat Boss TV. Today we're having a look at the Halls of Valor, which is the new 5-man dungeon on the Legion Alpha.
Yes, this is the first dungeon that we've had access to. There's 8 more available soon, I guess. We'll be able to see them eventually. But this dungeon is awesome. It comprises of 5 bosses, and of course, as the title suggests, it does take place in the Halls of Valor, which is actually the warrior class hall. And you meet like Odin and you're fighting stuff, and there's invisible dragons because it's not finished yet. It was great to go through it. So we wanted to show you exactly what we saw. So when you first jump into the instances, really remind you of Vortex Pinnacle from Cataclysm, this giant floating island in the sky. It doesn't help that it actually has the same loading screen.
Yeah.
That kind of re-emphasizes it.
Yeah.
But it is super awesome. And the first set of trash, pretty easy. You just kill it all off. But there is one thing that like kind of teaches you about the next boss is that there is actually a dragon in the trash, but it's just a guy who's like half in the floor.
Valhalla-esque dungeon. And Odin is there for some reason.
It's so gold. It's too gold.
And if I'm not mistaken, this dungeon is actually the warrior class hall as well. Am I right about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So very cool aesthetic, and that's kind of what I'm getting out of all the dungeons I've seen. They're all very unique. The art team has put a lot of time into each one of them. There's the other one, Blackrook Hold, that I've seen that looks so much like Karazhan, but a darker version of Karazhan. I think that the team is doing a great job on dungeons so far. I can't wait to jump in them. Blizzard, give me Legion! Alpha, please.
You'll probably get the alpha, Tarley. So, considering your luck with
I have Overwatch, and that's all I'll ever get, ever.
You never know. You never know. But I think one of the really cool things is just how much thought has gone into keeping the mechanics fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just for Halls of Valor, you're fighting, the boss mechanics seem a little bit different. I mean, yeah, the video there shows that they don't really do a lot. It is an alpha, and they do need to actually work out how well these special abilities and effects work. But, like, you're fighting on bridges, you're fighting in really cool set pieces, and it does kind of cast a shadow on a lot of what Warlords did. Because I think, like, a lot of the dungeons there were very linear, and you've effectively just moved around and cast your abilities or whacked your hammer, and that was it. So yeah, it does cast a shadow. So I'm again really excited. They're keeping it fresh, they're keeping it exciting, and also if you think about it, it's good because someone like me is probably going to find a lot of his end content in these dungeons when we get to the different challenge modes and things like that. So I'm really glad that I actually want to do that again and again, or at least I think I want to do it again and again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks awesome. Voodoo, what do you think?
So I was looking at some of like the boss abilities and mechanics on MMO Champions preview, and God King Skovald looks friggin' amazing to fight because he actually has a mechanic I haven't seen in a WoW game yet. Essentially, one of your group members picks up a shield, blocks all damage for everyone who sits behind this front arc, and then, I guess it's similar to some we've seen before, like second to last boss in Nax, where you had to hide behind the pillars of ice. So you're doing this, except in a dungeon, and you're sacrificing a member of your group to be the pillar of ice, who just kind of stands there and hopes to crap that front arc keeps people from dying, as this guy makes everything explode, is what it looks like.
Now, I'm trying to find an image of the first boss in Blackrook Hold because he looks like Marogar with bird heads. And if I find this image here... Here we go. Here's an image. I'll pull this up here. So from Icecrown Citadel, Marogar, the first boss of Icecrown Citadel, but there are birds for his head instead of skulls. Just it's a really, really sick looking model, and just makes me even more excited for what we're going to be seeing.
Rehash.
Yes, everything is rehashed in this expansion. What? Don't even bother playing it. It's Wrath of the Lich King 2, really. I mean, Bolvar's back, so what else do you need?
That's it. I can see that on like the IGN quote on the back of the box. It's Wrath of the Lich King 2, really. At least they're keeping it fresh. That's the main thing. I'm more than happy just to have a nice new look. And to be honest, how many people do you think still remember those old bosses?
People don't even know who Marogar. How many times do I have to say it? Marogar. There's a lot of people who don't even know who Marogar is.
Exactly. So what I mean to say is that there's so many good boss designs that we don't really ever see it now, because unless we're running for mounts or whatnot, you don't really need to ever go back. So why not use those boss designs, shake them up a little bit, and use them again? Nothing wrong with that.
Another thing that's cool are the new dragon models. Have you guys looked into those at all? Have you seen what they look like?
Haven't, no.
I'm trying to find... I can't remember what they're called. It's a new flight of dragon. Anybody in the chat know what the new dragons are called?
Oh. I remember hearing about them.
Let's see. That just got... There we go. Here we go. Here's a picture of a storm dragon. Actually, here's a video. And I will play you the video.
Even better.
This just kind of shows off what the new dragon models look like. And they look awesome. They kind of have like that Deathwing looking face. Very sharp looking chin. Mm-hmm. But they look different. You know, it's different dragon models than we've seen in quite a while. And I'm happy about that, especially because there were no dragons in Draenor. I mean, lore-wise, of course, it makes sense. They were Sky Reapers, but those aren't dragons. And of course, the first raid boss that we fight in the game is a storm dragon as well. Fitting, since there weren't any dragons. So. But yeah, I'm very excited. I have to collect them all because these mounts look amazing.
Do you think that's going to be like the raid achievement mount for the first tier for this one?
I would assume so, seeing there will be some form of a dragon. There are quite a few. This is only one model. Here's going forward in the video, here's a red one, a blue one. So there's going to be quite a few of these storm dragons. I would imagine. I would assume one of them is a raid drop or a meta achievement reward as well.
Did either of you ever play Spyro?
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
I'm looking at
I see the inspiration. Yes.
Spyro the Dragon as a mount. That is amazing.
See, I mean, so it's not really rehash. I think Blizzard's actually putting a lot of new assets into Legion, and the dragons are one of the things I'm excited about, for sure.
You were right, though. I think, and they said this on the panel, didn't they? That with Warlords, they couldn't put dragons in. It didn't fit with the lore, apart from, I can't remember, I can't remember his, the bronze dragon who got Garrosh back there. You couldn't bring dragons in, so they said they really wanted to kick it off with dragons. You know, we're back in Azeroth. Dragons are cool. That's why we play this game. Dragons. So
dragons and Doom Pillow.
Dragons and Doom Pillow. Part of a healthy gaming diet. So yeah, no, absolutely love it. My thoughts are, obviously, we've got like the stag mount coming out of Warlords, and you know, I think it's clear, like you said, that dragons are probably going to form the first few collectible mounts for this expansion. Is there anything else though you'd like to see as a mount that you've seen in Legion? Like,
I want a Valkyr. Like, I just want the mount to be a Valkyr picks you up, like in that one quest line in the Forsaken Zone.
Or
no, I literally want a Valkyr to fly down and pick you up, and that's how the mount works. And then she just flies around, holding you. Like,
I could definitely see some very demon-inspired ones. I mean, go figure, it's Legion, but like a Fellstalker mount would be cool.
There already is one for pre-ordering Legion.
Yeah, I don't want to pre-order Legion.
I thought you did already.
Well, it's not for pre-ordering the Collector's Edition. I don't want to pre-order the Collector's Edition.
I see.
anything else on...
No, not a whole lot of news that doesn't contain spoilers. That's I guess the only problem.
That's it. I could ruin the expansion for you guys right now.
Probably could. Let's move on. Let's talk about some Heroes of the Storm. The elusive mount, the Vulture, that everybody has been waiting for, is finally available for a price. What is required to do this, Big Voodoo?
You have to get 5 refer friends for the Vulture. 5.
I don't even have 5 friends.
I know, because no one loves you. But in all reality, you can just make Smurf accounts and do it yourself. So, not that bad, really. To get 5 people to level up to rank 10. So, my thought on this, Tarley, and... Well, no, because you play EU servers, don't you, Britzza?
Yes, but go on. I can get into the US servers.
I was just thinking we'll make Smurf accounts for each other and just play together to get the friend bonus on top of you get a stim pack anyways, and it'll take us like 5 minutes to level up to 10, and then we can just do it again.
But now that you say this, we're just all going to get banned from any Blizzard game. All of our accounts.
This is the thing, though. This... Honestly, and I'm gonna be blunt, I think this is absolutely ridiculous that they've put the Vulture mount behind this crazy system, because it's not whether you can recruit 5 people. It's most people, if they have friends who can play Heroes, have already brought them on, or they've already signed up. Heroes is free to play. If you were interested, you probably signed up already. You just literally have to create a Battle.net account and install the game. So how many people are going to have 5 new friends who are going to sign up who aren't taking advantage of that? It's because what happens if these people just join up?
So what we should do following this episode, to all of our listeners, whether it be listened to on YouTube or HipChat, or not HipChat, that's how we talk to each other, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you can find us, message one of us individually on Twitter, and we'll get you a recruit a friend, and we'll get this mount, and whoever gets it first on the show wins this competition.
Or I could just make Smurf accounts and get it first.
I'm trying to have fun here, but these guys just won't participate.
I want to extend that because there is something serious. Anyone on the EU, or anyone who can get into, I guess that's anyone because I can get into the US, so anyone can get into the EU. Anyone who wants to help me get that 200 gold achievement for playing Show Goal, give me a shout on Battle.net because that's annoying me. I haven't got that yet.
Me as well.
Same here. Do it.
Smurf accounts.
Yeah!
Smurf accounts.
Oh god, trying to multi-box Cho'Gall. That would be tough to play.
No, we'll just...
only bad if you get caught.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not against the rules though.
Yeah, but this is the thing. What happens when Blizzard announces? By the way, our accounts have doubled in a month. It's like, yeah, we know why.
Because everybody has made Smurf accounts. And we can trace this all back to Geeks of Azeroth podcast. Ban those guys from the game. And Zool would get banned too just because he's a part of us. And
unfortunately. What do you guys think? This is something that confuses me. Maybe you might know why. Why? I can understand Raynor being, every person who gets recruited gets Raynor for free. But why did they unlock Sylvanas after 10? What's the logic behind Sylvanas? Just because she's a different... Is it just that they've chosen a hero at random? We'll have a ranged hero? Or
yeah, I don't think there's any specific in-depth reasoning behind that other than let's pick a hero that they can unlock after 10. Sylvanas? Alright, let's do it.
I think it's probably popular heroes too. They want to make the rewards seem worth doing, so... That would be my guess, at least.
I want to make you worth doing.
It's not difficult.
Do you think... I guess, we've talked about Overwatch and how it's going to sort of either withhold or how it's going to release content. Do you think this is good for the game? Because I'm trying to think. They said about how this sort of thing will help keep recruitment healthy, but it seems to just piss people off.
I don't know. I don't really see this as a great thing for the game. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, as you said, it's free to play already. It's not hard to get in the game in the first place, so a recruit a friend incentive doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. It would make more sense for a paid game like Overwatch, recruit a friend to play Overwatch, get a skin or something.
Yeah.
But for a game that's already free, I don't know. I don't see the sense in it really. But I'm not Blizzard
the Raptor
again.
Mount. Everyone wants the Raptor Mount.
Vulture, sorry.
Where did I get Raptor from?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what I was thinking.
If they had a raptor in there as well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, a raptor would help, actually. Yeah.
But so Blizzard, change it to a raptor, and then I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. You could
be a banshee
that can fly across the map.
You could do it. I mean, it's not completely crazy.
Can fly over terrain and everything. That'd be cool.
I think though the thing with Heroes of the Storm is it's really good at just being a bit tongue-in-cheek. And I think if you're going to have a recruit a friend option, like the Avatar, that's a little bit fun. It obviously relates to recruit a friend, but the Vulture doesn't really. It's just the Vulture. Everyone wants the Vulture. I thought they could do something fun with a recruit a friend mount. Mm-hmm. You could play around with that idea.
2-person mount or something, kind of like World of Warcraft did.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe. I don't know. Maybe you could just... I'm trying to think of crazy, ridiculous ideas. Maybe one of your allies...
A Valkyr flies down and picks you up and flies you...
Sit on that one.
I am.
Well, what if Recruit a Friend mount was like a 2-person mount? What if they introduced a 2-person mount?
Yeah, I think that would be a much better idea because the vultures amount that everybody wants, and putting it behind some gated system like this is weird. And the person who's recruited doesn't even get it.
Yeah.
Do they not?
No, they do not.
So they've then got to find 5 friends.
Exactly.
Or make 5 Smurf accounts.
Oh my god.
Oh man, so if I make 5 Smurf accounts, then I'm gonna have to make Smurf accounts for my Smurf accounts. Oh, Blizzard's. The amount of people are. I see why they planned it this way. They just want to get their account number up.
20 billion accounts in December 2015.
The way I think about it, though, like, even if people are making Smurf accounts, how many of those people are still going to play at least one of those Smurf accounts, which means more money for Blizzard because they're going to buy more heroes.
True.
Well, they've only got the Raynor and the 7 free-to-plays that they'll have at those sort of low levels. So, they could... Again, you're right.
Think about someone like me, though. I have most of the heroes unlocked. I'm at max progression for, like, my total rank. Granted, I could still level up a lot of heroes a lot of ways, but a new account might make the game re-interesting and, having to rework on the progression again.
I see what you mean. I guess they just need to think about it a little bit better and take our ideas, implement them into the game, like they do all the time. We are the think tank for Blizzard, after all.
Exactly. All right, now anything else on this before we move into our discussion of the week? Well, then it is time for the discussion of the week. Sorry, I was finding the sounder.
What's a Drenna anyhow? Can I drink it? Discussion of the week.
That's right, it's time for the discussion of the week, and we couldn't find a specific WoW topic to discuss this week, so we're going to talk about Star Wars, because, well, Star Wars comes out this week, and I think that overrules anything else in the geekdom that exists out there, because it's Star Wars. What can top Star Wars? Other than the Warcraft movie, of course, but it's Star Wars.
A cross-universe movie with Star Wars and WoW? Pretty sure that would top it.
Okay, there you go. Let's throw in Halo to the mix as well. Just the Halo meets Star Wars meets Warcraft meets...
Oh man, that would be such chaos.
Hearthstone. I don't know.
I think that would just... I'm trying to imagine...
So Darth Vader versus Master Chief in the most epic game of Hearthstone you have ever witnessed. That's the movie.
And you know what? Now I'm thinking of next year's BlizzCon final will be 2 people, one dressed up as Master Chief and the other dressed as Darth Vader playing Hearthstone. If we get to that final, we've got to dress up as that.
Big Voodoo, that's your goal. If
right.
you get to BlizzCon for Hearthstone, you got to dress as Darth Vader.
I need some donations for cards, though. I think that's the only thing.
On a complete... I guess going back to Star Wars, have you guys seen the stories coming out where people have bought entire screenings worth of tickets?
Yes, I have. People
That
have spent
blows my
hundreds of dollars, so they have the theater to themselves, and I am thinking, damn, I should have done that myself.
Yeah, but this isn't just a showing. Some people have booked out the first ever screenings. So they're going to be people waiting for the first screen to end, and just one person will walk out.
Yeah. But that's the way to do it, though. You'll have complete privacy. You won't have other people laughing or screaming or crying babies, people talking on their phones, babies talking on their cell phones while crying. It's all the mix of things that happen in a movie theater. That's exactly why you'd want to buy it out.
And if it's going to be a real Star Wars moment, that one person will have to come out, look at the other 300 people about to go in and go, Vader's not dead!
Spoilers! Vader is Luke's father!
I think that'd be great. But how are you guys feeling then about the film? Because like you say, it's coming up in a couple of days, and it's probably the biggest thing happening in geek culture, or any culture, the world. Right.
That's exactly it. Like, I'm so excited. It's been, over 10 years since Revenge of the Sith came out now.
Right,
was it 2005? If I have that.
Good question.
Right.
I'm going to find out.
But it's been a while since the Star Wars movies came out, and of course that trilogy was supposed to be, I guess, our generation Star Wars, and well,
No.
yeah. I have the hope that this one will be amazing. Of course, there's the chance that it won't be amazing, but it's Star Wars, and all I can do is hope and get really excited for it, and be watching the original trilogy while doing this podcast. I mean,
Are you guys doing full marathons like before?
I have watched one all the way up to. I'm on episode 5 right now. You know, to
right. Finish. You are prepared.
I am
What about
getting
you,
there.
Voodoo?
I don't think I'll marathon. Like, I'm running into some serious gas flow issues right now, so I'm really debating on whether or not I can afford it. Like, granted, I could afford it, but should I afford it?
Well,
What's
there's always
responsible, you know?
always other means of getting movies off the internet if you intend to watch them.
True.
No,
I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying that it's an option.
you're supposed to bring balance to the Force.
Not destroy it. No, I think it could be really awesome. There's been so many theories out there as to what's going on with this movie, and the main theory being that Luke is in fact on the dark side.
Okay. Are we going into
We are going into that.
theory discussions?
We're going into that. Yes.
Okay. So do you believe that though?
I actually do. I do. I think
Really?
it's very possible that Luke has lost his mind or has fallen to the dark side, because why else would they have kept him from all the trailers and all of the posters and anything about the movie, really?
And in complete contrast, Mark Hamill's been like take pictures of himself like behind newspapers with headlines such as "Where's Luke?"
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see where this is. You know,
I'm more looking back towards like J.J. Abrams in particular, how he's done movies in the past, like how he was so secretive about what the Star Trek Into Darkness was, even throwing out fake articles to mislead people that the main villain was in fact Khan. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that movie already. And Cloverfield, like he kept that a complete mystery until that came out as to what that actually was, tearing apart New York City. Basically Godzilla #2, but
that was.
yeah, really.
I love that film, and I don't know what happened.
But that's kind of J.J. Abrams' style. Is he keeps secrets up until the movie is released, and he does a really good job of it. And so it would not surprise me at all if that is like the big twist that Luke this entire time is actually on the dark side.
But then...
Do you know... Oh, go on, sorry, Digby.
So, you just said that J.J. Abrams loves to screw with people's heads, so why wouldn't he just keep Luke from everything and then just be like, oh wait, never mind, he's fine. You figured that out in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Glad you enjoyed that.
Swings in, lightsaber in hand.
Okay, I guess that is another possibility.
Actually, Tarley, something you'd be interested in, and anyone who thinks this might have merit. A couple of years ago, I think it was, there was a roundtable discussion, and Mark Hamill was on it, and the table was discussing sort of the ideas behind the first trilogy of films. And Mark Hamill was talking about how he thought Luke's character could have developed, and how there was initially talk about how he could actually be quite a sort of almost nemesis figure. Because if you think about how like episode 6 went, like when he's talking to like Jabba the Hutt and he's all like, I will not hesitate to cut you up and all that sort of thing. There's a real dark side to him, and that's what the whole sort of last film's about, really, him balancing his good side and bad side. And even then, if you look at it, it's not 100% clear whether he did escape completely, on the good side. But interestingly, the person opposite him during that whole discussion was J.J. Abrams.
Really?
Yeah. So it must be on YouTube. I've seen it. So the very person who was having a discussion with Mark Hamill about Luke Skywalker's possibility of being evil was J.J. Abrams. So they talked about it years ago, and he's now directing it. So who knows?
There you go, myth confirmed.
Myth confirmed. But
well, we will all have to find out this Friday coming up. I can't believe it. It's less than 7 days away from the release of a new Star Wars film. Either way, good or bad, I am hyped. But we can have a bit of a wow discussion here, because right before the show, Big Voodoo asked me a very intriguing question. And it actually made me think about World of Warcraft and I think it's actually a good question to ask us here on the show. So, Big Voodoo, why don't you go ahead and we can discuss this?
So, my question to you guys, and to the viewers, if you want to respond on Twitter or Stitcher or iTunes, wherever you want, is what's a boss mechanic you'd want to see in WoW? So, like I said, I was really interested with some of the mechanics I've seen in the Legion Alpha so far. And I just want to know what everyone else wants to see. Like, what do you think would be a good boss mechanic?
You know, I think that's a very tough one to answer, too, because you almost base every answer you come up with initially on something that you've already seen in the game. So coming up with a fresh boss mechanic is definitely interesting, but Big Voodoo, since you asked the question, I would assume you have an answer.
You know, this is the terrible part, is I don't. I thought of the question because I didn't have an answer to it, really. Like, I saw these boss mechanics, I'm like, these are really cool, but I have no idea what I would do. Like, I don't know what I want, so...
Well, I joked around when we were talking before of having Zerglings and Banelings, like a kind of mad Zerg rush. But aside from, like, obviously it not actually being Zerglings and Banelings, I like the idea in a boss mechanic to be a complete mad rush of mobs, like a Zerg rush, if you will. The boss almost completely disappears, and you're outnumbered by more mobs than you've ever seen in a boss fight, and you have to eliminate them very quickly. I think a very overwhelming amount of Zerglings in this instance could make for a very different situation that you haven't seen before, and you have to kill them. And potentially, like in StarCraft, there's Banelings that can explode and kill everybody. So, like a mechanic like that with a mad rush and a couple things that could wipe your whole group. That would be my idea. Not necessarily Zerg, but the idea of a Zerg rush in WoW would be kind of crazy.
Wrath of the Murlocs.
Yes, just
Murlocs everywhere.
Yes, hundreds and hundreds of Murlocs. Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Banelocks, exploding Murlocs.
You could use that boss mechanic from the final boss in Skyreach. So what happens is the Murlocs pick up players at points and take them off. And you're like, no! Jimmy, they've got Jimmy! You have to fight your way through all these Murlocs to get him back and bring... That'd be quite funny, actually.
There you go. I like it. There you go.
I think that'd be a good one. The only one I can think of is, what if, like, say towards the end of Legion, Illidan, say, takes the fight to the final boss, as it were. Okay, say it's like, I don't know. The way I'm trying to think of it, imagine like a sort of encounter where, like how Illidan and Arthas had that conflict in Warcraft 3, and they kind of fought each other. Imagine if you had like a raid, and I'm completely talking out of context here, but if you had a raid where you had two bosses fighting each other, and your job was to either choose route A to help one boss, or route B to help the other boss. And you could stagger it, so there are points where you could interchange, maybe if you change your mind, or maybe it affects the outcome. But I think that would be quite interesting. Maybe you had to like take, I don't know, I'm now thinking more of a raid style now more than anything else. But
so basically, bosses fighting each other, and you have to pick which one you're fighting.
Yeah, I think that'd just be a bit better. Like how it would have been probably cool if Thrall didn't get knocked out by Garrosh in the first 2 seconds, and maybe he was still in the fight.
So let's expand on this idea a little bit. So what if this boss fight is in like the 40-man scenario that there's 20 Alliance and 20 Horde, and it's like that map in Heroes of the Storm where you have the two fighting things from Diablo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so there's two bosses fighting each other, and both factions can either choose to defend theirs or fight the other one.
Yeah. And if you lose yours, you lose a buff, say.
Yeah.
You don't get a buff, but if you don't kill the other one, you get you have a debuff, presumably. So
that's another cool idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
You could do it. I think it works like on a raid front, but you could do that multiple times in a raid encounter where you've got to like defeat lieutenants whilst protecting your own. And you know, if you want to tailor the buffs, which ones you get, you might want to say, right, we don't want to get this debuff, so we'll take out that guy, but we need to make sure we definitely get this buff afterwards, so we'll have to... and then you have to take the fight to the final boss with whatever lieutenants you've got left. And that would be, a cool way to do it. But
I like
saying that, I did...
And I could see that coming in, like, that would be a unique mechanic. Like, so half the
either
reason...
fight or defend.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of
I'm effectively stealing it from Heroes of the Storm, but it's
yeah.
It would be new to WoW, though. But I kind of like that. So another reason that this popped into my head is me and Tarley were running World War the other day.
Tarley and I.
Whatever. I'm more important, so I come first. That's how I figured it out.
that's it.
So we were running World War, and as I was running through that, I'm like, I remember when this first released, and it was friggin' amazing because there were so many things in it that I've never seen done in a raid before. And I want to see that again in Legion, because I still love World War, even though it's been out for, years now.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I think one thing I don't want to see as much of in Legion is I don't want this dodge the fire or dodge the poop. Style of gaming anymore. I want things to be a bit more flashy and not just. It's about placing. I think a lot of WoW mechanics now are about placing, and I can see why it's an important aspect. But just have a bit of fun with the story as well. And failing that, I did suggest Iron Stars everywhere, and that the final boss be an Iron Star. So that's that could be good.
I think it'd be cool. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, then when you beat the Iron Star, which no one ever will, but presumably if you could beat the Iron Star, then you get an Iron Star as a mount. But the thing is, if you ever hit any NPC or you come into contact with an NPC, you explode. I think it's quite fun.
I think they could.
It's bad I'm not designing anything in Blizzard.
I think it could be cool. If they somehow find a way to swap up tanking mechanics as well, as opposed to I have this many stacks of a debuff taunt off me. Like I think they could definitely do with mixing that up a bit. I mean, I remember Miss of Pandaria, like the first boss of Mogoshan Vaults, actually did that pretty well. There was a stone Quillen. There were some weird tank swapping things you had to do with those bosses, so I'd like to see more of that come into play with boss mechanics, make it more interesting for tanks.
It would be cool if they had a boss that made people, force themselves into different roles. Like, your tank
healers are tanking.
Does a lot of damage, but he can't take a hit. Just in the middle of this fight. He gets a buff or debuff, however you want to phrase that, and then your DPS gets a buff that makes them a super tank. Like, just one random DPS.
That would be interesting, actually.
And it's random every time you play.
Yeah.
That would work, because I thought about that. That's a lot better than, say, actual body swapping.
Yeah.
I think that would just confuse people. But I think that would be, because suddenly all the healers have to run up front.
Yeah. All the bosses are just aggro to the healers, and the tanks have to suddenly cast healing abilities.
Or
that would be really weird.
A buff that, swaps DPS and healing, so all your damage now heals, and all your heals now damage.
Yeah.
So your healers have to swap off of the party, while your DPS starts targeting other party members to keep them alive.
I'm strangulating you to make you feel better.
Do you guys? Who was the last boss on the second tier of Siege? So you've just gone into Orgrimmar and you get down to the basement. The one where he had the different warrior stances.
General Nazgrim.
That's it, Nazgrim. That's the danger, I think, with your one, Voodoo, was that you'd have people screaming, "Stop hitting the boss!"
Oh yeah.
They'd be like, "Stop healing! Stop healing!" The raid would just wipe anyway. So
yeah, the healers are just damaging everybody in the group because they didn't realize.
What would be great though is playing a warlock with Hellfire still. I'm healing everyone.
Yeah, just the Hellfire is raining down and healing everyone. Yeah. That'd be great.
Healing to the max. That'd be cool.
So yeah, definitely cool idea. So definitely tweet us, email us, whatever you want with your ideas for raid bosses, and maybe Blizzard will just put them in the game if enough people do.
Because that's how it works. They just go into our Twitter feed and just go, "Yeah, that will have that."
No, but I'm declaring it right now. Tarley's Christmas competition. Everyone pay attention on Twitter because we're going to talk about this and we'll tweet about it during the week. But tweet us out your best boss mechanics And for Christmas, I will get the winner, your choice, of a pet on the Battle.net store.
Oh.
So, tweet us out your best raid mechanics, and we will debate between us. And we'll get Zool involved in the discussion as well.
Is this
and we'll
Christmas
pick a winner.
or Thrallmas?
Thrallmas.
Thrallmas.
Yes. For Thrallmas. For Winter Veil, whatever you want to call it.
We celebrate Green Jesus.
Of course. All right, well, it's time to move on to the final segment of the show, the Hero's Call. This is where we give any shout-outs. Me personally, I'd like to give a shout-out to everybody who participated in the Twitch chat today. We appreciate sparking a conversation.
But, Kubio, nice to have you here.
Yes, you've been a regular viewer. Thank you. Shout-out to you. What about you guys? Any shout-outs?
Shout out to Zool, even though I don't know him, but I figure like someone should.
Zool is back on track to join us very soon. He's got his computer up. He logged onto Battle.net the other night when I was playing WoW, and I caps locked, typed him, "You're back!"
Oh, bless him. He'll be back in the new year, I think, so
yeah.
Finish moving.
What about you, Brits? Any shout-outs?
No. Shout out to all the listeners. I think is it this last show before actual Christmas, isn't it?
Well, no, they're unless we don't do a show on the 20th.
Oh no, sorry, we will. No, we'll be fine. That's fine. So yeah, I'll do all the Christmas shout outs then. But shout out to all the listeners as always. Fantastic to have you here. And
just one moment as I pull up the music that we can roll during the outro. Here we go. It is some lovely Christmas music. As I say, thank you everybody for listening to Geeks of Azeroth. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also catch us on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth. You can find me personally at Tarley_pause. You can find our long-lost compadre Zool at ZoolGeek. Britzza, where can we find you?
You can find me at Britzza_EG.
And Voodoo, let's hear your complicated Twitter handle.
At B1GV00D00. Big Voodoo, leak speaked out.
You can also contact the show with your questions, shoutouts, hate mail, your submissions to the competition. Send that all to geeksofazerotheg@gmail.com. You can also send your lovely family Christmas cards there as well. We'd love to see them. And remember to check out www.epicgeeks.co.uk for all the content that we produce. There's a lovely show about Wildstar, Geeks of Nexus. You can check that out at that website and everything else we do. The website got rehashed very nicely. Very nicely. So definitely head on over there, check it out for all the things we produce. Otherwise, we'll see you here next week, same time, same place. Everyone have a great week in Azeroth.
This podcast is part of the Epic Geeks Network. To find out more about our other gaming podcasts, head to epicgeeks.co.uk.